loving a promiscuous person. Has he ever realized that all the pain he has caused me has been unbearable, and after being forgiven, he only became even worse? As human beings, we all have our dark sides, but most of us live, think, and correct our mistakes. However, it seems that he has never been able to do that. His greedy nature makes him an unscrupulous person. What would he think if his sister encountered someone as despicable as him one day? The first time he betrayed me, I thought it was just a moment of weakness. I loved him so much that I swallowed the bitterness in my heart and forgave him. I wanted him to start over and appreciate the love I gave him because I knew I could never love anyone else besides him. I loved him and hoped we would have a happy ending. I hoped he would return as the person I believed and trusted. After what had happened, I thought he would change, but his hunting nature never stopped. He forgot all the promises he made, forgot the pain he caused me. Because of him, I had to face the scrutiny of my loved ones who opposed our reunion when they found out he was a cheater. I loved him so much and believed that he would appreciate this precious affection for me. When I read the message he sent to her, I was shocked. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was so distraught that I cried, fell ill, lost my appetite, and couldn't sleep. But he begged for my forgiveness, and because I loved him so much, I tried to accept it. However, just a few days later, he still went to her to hug and love her, still making promises. But he didn't know that she and I were in contact. He justified it by saying it was just a moment of weakness, and he didn't understand why he suddenly went crazy and blind. I no longer believed in him. A well-educated person like him, who loved me so much, still intentionally behaved like that after receiving my forgiveness. I decided to break up, and he agreed. The next morning, I used a different Yahoo account to get to know him, thinking he would be too heartbroken and remorseful to chat. Surprisingly, he was enthusiastic and flirtatious, then comforting the owner of that account when they shared their heartbreak story. It was the same comforting tone he used when I was sad, the same filthy and fake sharing. I was in so much pain that my heart felt numb. He promised to make the heartbroken person feel better, to be their punching bag, to be their support, and to take them to a quiet place to scream out loud. Well, educated people usually have sweet, well-prepared words, don't they? I was in so much pain that I couldn't describe it. I played my cards openly with him. I didn't want to play hide and seek anymore. I told him straight to not be like that, not to live like that anymore. Then what would he get from these fleeting love affairs? And he knew the person he was flirting with was actually me, the one he had betrayed and deceived. This time he didn't ask for forgiveness. He said to leave a wretched guy like him and forget about him. Then gradually, he sweet-talked me by showing concern, fearing that I would become depressed. I softened, felt sorry for him, and forgave him again. Most importantly, I wanted to change him, wanted to use my forgiveness to touch his heart, but I was wrong. After a week of getting back together, our love was as sweet as before. I believed he had changed, but still had a bit of doubt. I wanted to test him one last time, giving him the last chance. Using another account with a cute girl's avatar to get acquainted, he enthusiastically engaged in conversation without any suspicion. Just after a few hours of chatting, he was already excited to set up a date, flirting and promising to make the girl happy. This girl had a different story, not heartbroken but tired of studying and family matters, and the philanderer like him promised to make her happy, to give her a sense of comfort and trust. He scheduled to meet her after work, in a time frame that wouldn't arouse my suspicion, because he had to pick me up for our date in the evening. The plan seemed predetermined, but was cancelled due to a company party. I patiently waited for the play to end. The next morning, the role continued. I sent a message complaining, and he responded to the girl with sweet words, apologizing for missing the appointment and promising to make up for it. The apology was accepted, and the date was scheduled for lunchtime during his work break. After all the promises, he traveled 12 kilometers under the scorching sun to meet the girl. When I called him, he lied about going to eat and fixing his motorbike, but I knew his plan was in motion. I still gently cared for him. Eat a lot, my love, I miss you so much. I hoped that at some point, he would wake up because of my love and care and give up his greed, but he didn't. He still took care of me attentively, still replied with loving messages. I miss you too, my love, eat more so you can gain some weight, a kiss for my love. Hearing that made my heart ache. If he could live like this, he was really talented. There were no more words to describe his deceitful actions. He arrived at the meeting place as promised. I used my uncle's phone number to ask him to text him, because I couldn't risk calling with a male voice for the excuse that my phone was broken. As sweet as he is, I still tricked him because he was too greedy in his affairs. Under the Hanoi sun, he stood waiting at the gate of the University of Education like a lovesick man. He traveled 12 kilometers for a fleeting love affair, and it hurt me so much, my heart ached. There was no reason left to forgive or hold on. I didn't know how to defend him. I didn't have the patience to play with him until the very end, so I used my usual phone number to call him, still in a sweet voice. My love, I love you so much, don't wait any longer in this scorching sun, go back to the office and have lunch. He understood, praised me for my perfect plan, not because I was smart, but because he was blind. I laughed through my tears. I won, but why did it hurt so much? I couldn't believe myself anymore. How could the person I loved deceive and take advantage of my trust like that? In the end, he still didn't admit his mistake. He said he went to fix his motorbike. He didn't go to the meeting place. He was just joking with that girl. He blamed me for being suspicious and not trusting him. How could he still defend himself after all that had happened? He knew I was very meticulous. I never falsely accused anyone. I saw him at the meeting place. I saw him sweating and struggling. I witnessed the whole story from beginning to end, and the actor was still me. I love you so much, you know, I should hate you so much, despise you so much, but my heart aches. My plan was still long, but I didn't dare to play until the last minute. Doing so would only hurt me more because I knew my heart still loved him so much. If only he could understand the love I had for him, if only he wasn't an insensitive and thoughtless person. Writing this, I'm crying my eyes out, loving him, hating him, mixed feelings, not writing to torment him, but to give him a last chance to reflect on his life, his character. Allow me to beg you one last time to change, not to start our love anew, but to live with the sacrifices I've made, so that no more naive girls will foolishly love you and be hurt like me. I no longer have any trust in him. I knew that this love couldn't last forever, and I couldn't continue to endure the pain from him. I decided to end this relationship, even though my heart still loved him very much. I told him that I couldn't continue to love him, and couldn't forgive him again. He was silent, no longer apologizing or pleading, just standing there looking at me, his eyes seemingly without a hint of regret. In the end, we broke up. I knew I had to learn to live without him, and had to learn to forget the beautiful memories that we once had. Life went on, and I gradually learned to be more confident, more independent, no longer relying on him. Some time later, I heard he had a new girlfriend. I didn't feel sad anymore, just a little pity for that girl. I didn't know if he could change his nature, but I sincerely hoped that he would appreciate her love more, not repeating the mistakes he made with me. For me, all the memories with him are now just distant recollections. I've learned that love, trust and sincerity are the most important things. I will continue to seek my own happiness, not letting his shadow haunt my life anymore. After breaking up, I felt lighter, but my heart still missed him. After all, he was someone I once loved, and I gave him the best things. But life keeps moving, and I know I need to keep going, not drowning in the past. I turned to new activities, made friends with people who shared my interests, and learned from them. I tried to improve myself, gain knowledge, and seek new happiness. Gradually, I realized that there were many more things to cherish in life, and I shouldn't let myself be caught up in the whirlwind of pain. As for him, I don't know where he will go, or if he will ever realize his mistakes. I am no longer the person to help him change, but I hope he will recognize and correct his errors on his own, not continuing to hurt those around him. I also understand that we all have our dark sides, but what's important is that we acknowledge and correct them. Only then can we live a meaningful life and find true happiness.